Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. It's been a long time, but the analysis I talked about on this channel when we hit this low point, the downward broadening wedge is still here. It's still going on. From this point of view, nothing has changed. We are still in the same long-term pattern. This means that the goal will also be based on the descending broadening wedge if this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and if the recovery does happen going forward. Bitcoin has been going up and down since March. It went from $74,000 to about $56,500, then jumped to $72,000, dropped to $53,500, pumped to $70,000, dropped to $49,000, jumped to $65,000, and then jumped back to $52,500. If this range and trend were to keep going, the next move would be something only to do that would just be to continue. We're at a short-term low right now, which is a sign that the bulls may be regaining some control. This could lead to a very strong consolidation period before a rebound. Because we can see on the chart that there has been a low, a lower low, and now a higher low. This makes it look like the bulls may be taking back control and the long-term trend may be about to change. It's been 180 days now. We went in a straight line for 193 days in 2023. You won't believe it, but this consolidation isn't longer than what we saw in 2023. It's pretty much the same length. What is that in the end? At this point, it's just a step on the stairs. As another important point of view, Bitcoin also takes 30 to 40 weeks after having to trend above the all-time high. Key phrase: rise above the all-time high. 2016 having 40 weeks, that's when weeklies closed and the trend went above the all-time high. 2020, 30 weeks going up past the all-time high. We're early because we're only about 20 weeks along. In fact, if Bitcoin had already started to rise above its all-time high, it would have been the first time ever that it had done so. This is because of how the half cycle works. If we use the average of 30 out of 40 weeks, that means that Bitcoin should be on a trend with multiple weekly closes moving to new all-time highs around November or December. I think more specifically November. Bitcoin is now 23% less than it was at the top, 270% from the very bottom. So why do people feel so badly? The other day, Bob Lucas sent out an interesting tweet. He said that Bitcoin had 30% drops a lot in the past. We all took it in stride. It feels different this time. It makes me feel a lot more uneasy. For most people, this is their second or third cycle, and they want to find a cycle that will last their whole lives. Too much light. People might just be too open to the market. Having high hopes for life after this bull run, and because all crypto fans are so overexposed, every dip causes a lot of worry. Even though 40% drops have happened before, they happened several times in 2017 on the way from 200 to 20,000. But yes, I agree with what Bob said in this tweet. This is an interesting point he makes. Now I think Bitcoin will probably hit a new all-time high in the next couple of months. That's something that people think is crazy. Bitcoin only needs to get back the 24%, it will reach a new all-time high. If we zoom in on the monthly and look at any of these big monthly bounces, any of these candles would put us at a new all-time high if we could find one. So the market can change very quickly. When I look at Bitcoin every day, I'm looking for something like this. I believe this deeper low shows that we have reached the end of this range and will likely stay in this area for a while. It could be October before things really settle down and there is a move that makes the high point on the chart go up. Because of this, I hope to get better in general over the next few months. I think it will be around the beginning of October. That's the thing I want. Now on this channel, we tend to stick to longer time frames like daily, weekly, and monthly. I don't think many other people do that. For Bitcoin, things haven't changed. We are in a widening circle that is going down. It's been a long time, but the analysis I talked about on this channel when we hit this low point, the downward broadening wedge is still here. It's still going on. From this point of view, nothing has changed. We are still in the same long-term pattern. This means that the goal will also be based on the descending broadening wedge if this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and if the recovery does happen going forward. You can find your goal for a descending broadening wedge in a few different ways. One way is to measure from the pattern's top to bottom. Another way is to measure from the wedge's widest point. Now, let's extrapolate that from the wedge's highest point to its lowest point to find a possible breakout zone. The goal is about 89,000 from the wedge's widest point. This means that the total goal using both of these ways is between 89 and 92,000. Okay, so it's clear that a lot of people have felt badly and are very angry. They go crazy when I say on YouTube that the goal of the descending broad angle pattern is between 89 and 92,000. They just want me to tell them that we're going to zero. They want to hear bad things. They want to be told that their opinion is right. We have talked about this study on this channel for a while now though. Why? For the reason that the pattern still works. That being said, this is the setup I want. When the next big multi-month move up comes around, I want around 92,000. Is that my goal for the cycle peak? Not at all. That's the goal of this setup, and that's how you should get the goal of this pattern. This is about the next big economic move. Keep in mind that the time of this cycle is the same as the last one. There is no delay with Bitcoin. The only thing behind us is what we thought would happen. After 30 weeks, in 2020, it was still going above the all-time high. In theory, Bitcoin will still be above its all-time high 35 weeks after it was first bought. I don't understand why that would be wrong. I believe it is pretty clear and makes sense. In that case, we would be above the all-time high sometime between the end of November and the middle of December. That means there is time for things to grow. It won't happen right away. We need to work our way up there. Another thing I shared on Twitter is this: Bitcoin is the leader. Will the same thing happen again with Bitcoin? We can see that we are hitting the line of resistance that has been there for years by looking at this Bitcoin dominance picture. Every time before, this is when Bitcoin's power peaked, right before a big alt season. All altcoins have lost a lot of value and are priced too low. There's a good chance that many of them will start to rise again and get back some market share. If you look at the last cycle, it was in 2020, right? It looked like the dominance chart had a decline line in this area, but there was a fake out above it and then a pullback. This was a big blow to Bitcoin dominance before it moved into alt season. So it wouldn't surprise me if they faked out for Bitcoin to become the most popular currency before making a big push into alt season. That doesn't surprise me at all. It's possible. Time will tell, but Bitcoin should be getting close to a point where it stops being the most important cryptocurrency and other coins start to recover. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen that the technical analysis tools here on Kraken Pro have been updated. Some of your most important signs can be seen on your homepage, so you don't have to open each one as separate. This widget on your screen will help you keep track of them all. Use the link below to sign up for Kraken Pro. The video for today is now over. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and join Patreon if you want to view more videos and help the station. The next film will be with you all.